Hey guys, it's Jake Mace, the vegan athlete. Happy New Year. I'm gonna make a juice for you guys. It's gonna give you longevity, help you to lose weight, and flood your body with nutrients. Juicing is something that I've been doing since I was like 13 years old, and I think it's one of the secrets to living a long and active life. So we're gonna put the juicer together here first, and I always forget how this thing goes together. This juicer is old. This juicer is just not up to par. I need to go get. Hey, I'm doing a video in here. Can I?
Hey, I heard you having some problems with your juicer, man. I brought you my favorite and the best juicer in the world for my needs and probably yours too.
It's John Kohler with growingyourgreens.com and discountjuicers.com. How did you do that? You're like Santa Claus of juicers.
Yeah, man. I know you wanted a new juicer. We got the Omega VSJ843. This is the one that I use in my house almost every day when I'm home. And I got you one, man.
Oh my God, can we use this for the video today to show the people?
Oh dude, absolutely. Let's get set up in the kitchen and show people how to juice and why this is so much better than your old POS.
And you're gonna make the juice with me so they can see the juice that you make.
Yeah, man, awesome.
Okay, let's go do it. We need a better kitchen for this juicer though, so let's change our scene right now. All right, thanks for meeting up with me as usual. This is my friend John Kohler. You guys know him from 3 different YouTube channels, growingyourgreens.com, OK Raw.
Yeah.
And Discount Juicers, but it's called
Raw Foods.
Raw Foods, that's right. How'd you get Raw Foods? That's a pretty good name.
Yeah, well, I got into YouTube a long time ago, actually.
So 2 questions I have first. What is your diet? You don't call yourself vegan, but you are vegan. You're a raw vegan for how long?
Yeah, so I've been actually into a raw vegan diet now for the last 23 years, and I don't like to use like big words that describe things like labels. I would rather say what I do. So like I eat a fruit and vegetable dominated diet that is rich in some of the highest nutrient plants, and hopefully I grow most of them, especially the vegetables, myself.
So for you, it's, juicing is really important, but also gardening.
Yeah, gardening and growing your own food is super important because, I mean, as good as this celery is from the store that's organic, right? You guys could grow higher quality celery and pick it like minutes before you're gonna juice it, instead of like some of these things like the apples. These apples were harvested last year and they could be sitting around in cold storage for 6 months to get them. And so the nutrition goes down over time. So I want to maximize my nutrients so I don't end up in the hospital again. And that's why I got into this lifestyle, Jake, is because I almost died when I was in the hospital after I got out of college. I had spinal meningitis, which
is
caused
before
by,
you were raw vegan.
Yeah, before. This really kicked me in the butt to change my life so that I could be living instead of not living, right? And the doctor said I had complement immune deficiency, and that was basically a chronically depressed immune system so that I could basically contract any disease in the future and then
so
not be so
spinal meningitis?
That's the original problem caused by a chronic weak immune system.
Okay.
And then I needed to fix that. My first introduction into raw foods was juicing.
Yeah.
And I think, if you want to go into raw foods, that's great, but the whole thing is you want to get more fruits and vegetables in you, and juicing is simply the best way to do it because the juicer, Jay, concentrates the fruits and vegetables you could get into. So I mean, we could juice these carrots here. We could juice 5 pounds of carrots. That's a lot of carrots. You couldn't eat all those carrots. It'd fill you up. Your stomach would be full. You could maybe eat a pound or 2 maybe. But we could put those carrots through the juicer. Now we got basically 5 cups of juice, which is nothing. You could glug that down. You want to take your time when you drink it though, and swish it around your mouth. But now you got the nutrition from the carrots without some of the fiber.
So my second question is, what kind of juicer is this?
Sure, so this is called the Omega VSJ843, and this is called a vertical slow juicer. It's very important to get a slow juicer. We'll run one that runs at a low and slow speed, like if you turn that on, Jake.
Listen.
I mean, you could barely hear that running, not like the high speed machine
and I can see it
earlier.
spinning. It's very slow. So it's moving slow, but it has a very powerful motor. Why are those 2 things important?
Right, yeah, so this runs at 43 revolutions per minute. That's much slower than a high-speed machine that you're trying to use earlier. It's 10,000 RPMs, right? So it runs very slow so that it maximizes nutrition. When things run at a high speed, like a blender or even like a high-speed juicer, basically there's a lot of air being bombarded and it oxidizes certain nutrients. I mean, some nutrients like minerals will not be really affected by oxidation, but the most important nutrients in the juices, which are the phytonutrients, the vitamin C's, the antioxidants, the vitamin A, the beta carotene, the different properties in the cruciferous vegetables that are anti-cancer, these things can be easily destroyed by oxidative damage, and you could lower the nutrients.
So this is going to be better for our health because of that. It's chopping it up slower, and we're getting more of that nutrition when we drink it.
Absolutely, and not to mention the fact that depending on what you're juicing, this juicer is going to get extremely higher yields. We're juicing this kale. In your old juicer, you could juice this whole bunch of kale, and you'll get like, you know, that much juice. With this juicer, you'll get, you know, a lot more juice. Basically, 1 pound of greens will mean 1 cup of juice in this juicer. With a high-speed machine, with the kale, you're definitely not going to get that much because the other juicer will kick out whole chunks of kale that didn't even get juice. This juicer will grind it all up and literally crush and squeeze all the juice out.
And folks that only know you for gardening, they really don't know that you do a great service with your Raw Foods YouTube channel and discountjuicers.com, because you do a very good filming technique of you weigh out the produce, you compare 2 juicers together, and you actually see right there who can juice more or less juice.
Right.
So I love to watch that, because before I buy the juicer, I can let you do the work and tell me which one is yielding better juice, more juice, all that stuff.
Right, yeah, I just show it like it is. You know, I take 2 juicers, compare them side by side, and I show not only the yield difference, which is one thing that you should take into consideration when you juice, but I show all the other factors, like all the parts you're gonna have to clean. I talk about the pros and cons of each juicer. Some juicers juice certain things better than others. Some are easier to clean. I like this machine actually because it actually takes me about 3 minutes to clean. So it's super simple to clean, but I also like this machine because it makes a really high yield and just works really good, man. It's also really quiet.
So let's get to juicing, but before we do, folks that want to order this particular juicer or another one that might fit their needs can go to discountjuicers.com. When they check out, they can use a coupon code you're going to give me, right?
Jake Mace, yes. Jake Mace, use a Jake Mace coupon code on the Omega VSJ juicer or any juicer that's higher in price than this guy. You'll get 30 bucks off.
Are you serious?
Serious, man. I want to hook people up with a good juicer. And, you know, thanks, Jake, that you're doing this, you know, to help promote this juicer. But I mean, I think honestly, besides the coupon code, juicing is the #1 thing that everybody in the world should be doing to get more fresh fruits and vegetables in them. It's quite unfortunate that most people, I think it's only 17% of Americans get the recommended amount of vegetables in them a day, which is sad, which is considering like most people's vegetables are potatoes because they're fried potatoes and French fries, potato chips, and it's these foods that are the most healing foods on the planet, especially if they're into athletics, right? The beets, we got the beets here, right? This will increase your oxygen uptake. I mean, Olympic athletes are now doping, well not doping, but they're drinking beet juice so they can perform better in athletics, and all these foods will allow your body to heal faster for recovery.
So we should do like a beet juice, cactus fruit juice, coconut water drink.
That'd be good, man.
Maybe some watermelon in there.
Watermelon, yeah, I mean, when you own your juicer, you get to choose the recipe you want to make.
And how many people out there make time every single day and they allocate money every day for their coffee that costs $4 or $5 every morning, and they will literally sit in the line at Starbucks or they'll sit in the line at work and they'll get that coffee when they could be doing this with their morning, probably spending the same amount of time and money and having something infinitely more nutritious in their body that will probably give them more energy in the long run too.
Absolutely, you know, I mean, I've used this juicer to make like maybe around 16 ounces of juice. I could make the juice, clean up, and be done in under about 10 minutes.
And for the new year now, it's January 4th or something today. Your resolution, start juicing, could be one of your resolutions.
Yeah, I mean, once again, juicing is the #1 thing you should be doing if you want to impact your health the most. And what I like to do is actually just not eat breakfast. I like to just drink as much fresh juice as I want for breakfast. This is one of the best things you guys could do in the morning, because if you think about it, what does breakfast mean? It means you're breaking your fast. You've been sleeping for the last, hopefully 8 hours, and then hopefully you didn't eat dinner for about 4 hours before you went to bed. So literally you're intermittent fasting for 12 hours, then you wake up in the morning, and then if you eat a big, like, you know, Egg McMuffin sandwich or bacon and eggs or whatever you guys are eating.
Taco Bell burrito.
Yeah, that's really bad for your digestive system. It's like a big load. It's like, oh my God, I'm eating my food. Your body's like freaking out. It has to digest all this heavy food. What better thing could you put in your body than fresh juices that you remove some of the fiber? And I want to, you know, talk to people about that real quick, Jake, is that when you juice foods, right, you remove, and you'll see this in a minute out this side, you remove some of the fiber, not all the fiber. See, in foods like the carrots and like the kale, there's 2 main different types of fiber that are normally talked about, the soluble fiber and the insoluble fiber. And when we juice, we remove the insoluble fiber out this chute, but out this chute comes the soluble fiber with the juice, because soluble means dissolves in water. So we're getting all the soluble fiber. So in a carrot, it's approximately 48% to 52% soluble to insoluble fiber. So even when you juice carrots, you're getting about half the fiber.
With that being said, we can also take the fiber that we're not going to be drinking and we can make it into like something else.
Absolutely,
we can make it into like a patty for a veggie burger or something if you weren't raw.
Right, yeah, so with the fiber, you could actually do a lot of things with that. You could put it into soups and stews. Actually, I know you have a nice dog. You could actually feed it to your dog with the dog food so they get extra fiber, some extra nutrition. I mean, to me, the fiber comes out fairly dry, and like I don't need to get extra fiber from the produce waste that's coming out of my juicer because I've extracted all the good nutrition out of it. I would rather actually personally grind up some flax seeds that have fiber, but also lignans and anti-cancer properties for my fiber. But that being said, I know some people are cheap and they want to make every last bit of everything count. So you mean you can make carrot cakes with it, soup stews, you can dehydrate this into patties or even crackers in a dehydrator or even in an oven, you know, flavor it up. And yeah, more fiber the better.
The next video we do together, I want to go to the dehydrator oven and say what you do for like your seaweed chips and stuff. But I just hit the hardest workout ever this morning for about an hour with my girlfriend Nicole. So let's replenish my body with this juice. Let's get juicing.
All right, cool, man. Let's do it.
What are we gonna do? You be the alpha dog here, and you kind of lead the way.
All right, sure. Let's just turn this baby on, and you're gonna be the cutter, Jake. So cut that apple up into pieces that'll fit in.
And if you guys can see out there, can I take this off to show them the size of the spout we're dealing with?
So this is the feed chute on this machine. I mean, there's some slow juicers that have wide feed chute. That one is called the Kuvings whole slow juicer Elite C7000. You know, I have used that. I have tested it against this one, but even though it has a wider feed chute, I prefer this one because it gets a higher yield. And in every juicer, especially the vertical juicers, you will still need to pre-cut your things like kale and celery because the strings and the stalk will get cut up in there.
Anyway, I don't mind cutting it up because it's kind of meditative and kind of fun to cut stuff up.
So the cool thing about this juicer is that you don't even want to use the pusher. You can just drop things in there. And as you guys can see, we're instantly getting some apple juice out without even pushing.
That's cool. I'm not trying to hug you, John.
So yeah, no worries. So I want to get in and we could just take a carrot and drop it in there. Now I want to go over some of the benefits of some of these, you know, things we're juicing. So of course the carrots have the beta carotene. That's the, you know, the orange pigment. And if you drink a lot of carrot juice, you might actually turn a tad bit orange. But you know, there's been research studies that show the more fruits and vegetables you eat, the more attractive you are because you'll actually have a much nicer skin tone, which is really cool. But the beta carotene literally gets under your skin and helps you protect you from the sun rays, right?
I was wondering why I was so attracted to you when you got the last night.
Here,
that incredible skin hue that you have in there.
And then of course the apples, right? Oh, and then the carrots also, they're anti-cancer food. So there's a therapy called the Gerson therapy where they actually use apple carrot juice predominantly to help people get rid of their cancers. And these are foods that even if you don't have cancer, you want to be eating now so that you don't get cancer in the future.
So while you're juicing all this up, let me ask you a question. Do you think it's more powerful for people to take like a beta carotene supplement or to eat the carrot?
Yeah, so I mean there's a whole big controversy.
Drink the carrot.
There's a whole big controversy about like, you know, taking supplements, and you know, most supplements are man-made supplements or man-made substances that emulate the natural substances. There actually have been studies that show like if you take, you know, beta carotene supplements, it could be more toxic to your body and you could actually overdose on them, which is really not good. So it's always better to, you know, eat the real food, and especially with the carrots. And one of the reasons why I like the juicing is, you know, if you try to chew a carrot, right, to digest this carrot, you can't just bite into it and chew it a little bit and then swallow whole chunks, because basically we are nothing more or less than juice extractors. You think about it, like out the front of us, if you're a guy anyways, comes a liquid, and out the back of us comes the solids, and that's what this juicer is doing. It's separating the liquids from the solids, and our bodies could only digest things that are in a liquid state. And so that's why the juice really just goes right in. It's easily digested, especially if people have some kind of digestive issues. Easiest way to incorporate more fresh fruits and vegetables in your diet.
I mean, number one question that I get from the gardening crowd, I know that you get it too, is do you actually eat everything that you grow because you grow so much stuff? I'm sure you get that question all the time. And juicing is a way that you could get through all of your produce grown in your garden.
Right, absolutely. So I mean, that's my secret sauce really of why I grow so much, is because I mean, look, we're just juicing some of this stuff. We got a little juice, but basically a pound of greens that I grow in my garden gets converted into literally 1 cup of juice. And then all the pulp goes to feed my microbes in my compost bin so I could grow next year's crop, next year's harvest.
That's awesome.
And the other thing I do, of course, is I dehydrate it and of course eat plenty of it fresh. Why don't you start cutting these tops off the carrots, Jake? I usually cut off the tops and the bottoms.
So why did you cut out the tops and bottoms? Why not juicing?
So I don't know, man. Like to me,
That's
like if you grow these carrots, Jake, you know, I'd probably be good with juicing them. But like,
because you trust my soil more than
yeah, right. But look at this top. I mean, there's like dirt in there. There could be bacteria and stuff growing in there. Like I don't know, man. Like if you want to do that on your time, but if I'm drinking the juice today, you're cutting off the tops, baby.
So it's not really because of the juicer. It's just personal preference.
Yeah, no, the juicer could totally handle it. It's kind of funky, you know.
What are some stuff that you juice that you think is rare that we don't have today that you actually like to juice that folks might not have thought of?
Oh man, I juice so many different greens out of my garden. Like, oh, so sweet potatoes, yes. So I don't use regular potatoes, although you can juice those in small quantities, but they should be cooked to be eaten. I do like to juice sweet potatoes on occasion, nice deep colored sweet potatoes.
Let me try this.
Oh, the other thing, generally I like to put them in the big side end down, and sometimes you gotta let, if it's a big diameter, you gotta just put it in and let it take a chunk off or two and then pull it up.
Okay, cool.
Otherwise the juicer will kind of get stuck up there.
Let me try here. Ah! God, John. I didn't even phase him.
This is child safe. All right, so you jamming it in there too fast, man. So you gotta hit reverse, and then you hit forward again.
Okay, let me try one more time. But that's really cool thing that happened right now. You just hit the reverse button and we're back online.
Yeah, no worries, man.
That's pretty cool.
Might want to pull it out, man. Now you gotta let it run a little bit. You're gonna overload it, man.
How about that?
It's a slow juicer. There you go. You're good.
Perfect. Okay, you keep doing the juice stuff. I'll keep prepping.
All right, here, man. Cut some of this cabbage up. So the cabbage that we're gonna juice here, you know, the purple cabbage way better than the green cabbage, at least twice, if not more, nutritious because of the purple pigments in there. These are known as anthocyanins, and they've done a lot of research with the anthocyanins in testing where they show that's not that's not gonna fit in the juicer though, Jake.
No, for the camera.
Yeah, for the camera. All right. So, but yeah, these anthocyanins could help you you know, lose weight, help you regulate your blood sugar, even help your cardiovascular system. And so it's like these really rich, deep, colorful pigments are the foods that Americans are not eating. They're eating all these white foods, you know, white flour, white sugar, white potatoes. We want to eat really colorful things, and I mean, literally, the juicer allows you to do that. We could stick just a whole bunch of this cabbage in there, and instantly what's gonna happen is we're just gonna start getting some nice rich purple juice coming out.
I wanna see it.
There's a purple, put some more in there, man.
Oh, there we go, cool.
Purple juice. And so yeah, cabbage is really good for that. Also cabbage is also an anti-cancer food, and the apples, I like juicing the apples because it adds a nice sweetness into the juice. And some people might say, John, man, when you're juicing apples, man, you're getting straight sugar water. All right, so here's the thing, like Coca-Cola is sugar water. They literally put water with processed refined sugar in there with some flavoring. When we juice apples, while we are getting some you know, sugar in there, we're getting a lot of other nutrients. So I want to let you guys know that, you know, juicing apples is way better than drinking a soda. But that being said, you know, I mean, it's probably better to juice some kale, especially if you have blood sugar issues.
Oh, yeah, apple core.
Yeah, you could totally juice the apple core, but you do want to remove the apple stem right here because that'll kind of jam up the juicer.
Oh, well, okay, so that's a little too sharp.
Yeah, well, see what happens is this juicer grinds things up at a slow RPM, presses out the juice. So this is a cold press juicer, and then it basically spits out the pulp over on this side, and that little stem could get stuck on the little right angle turn as it comes out. But yeah, with the apples, when you're juicing them, you not only have structured water, this is nature's best water because it's filtered by the plant. You also have the vitamins and minerals and the phytochemicals and the antioxidants, and there's actually anti-cancer properties in the skin of the apple, and you also get the sugar. So I mean, aside from just having sugar in there, there's so many other things that come along in the package.
How about this one, cucumber?
Drop it in there whole, man, and it's just gonna suck it in.
As far as health and
so healthy, you know, cucumber is probably the #1 best source of water, of a nice neutral water to add to your juices, right? You wouldn't want to drink straight kale juice unless you're super hardcore, or as Jake and I did before, straight moringa juice, because that stuff's kind of nasty, right? You want to dilute your juices, so something excellent to juice is like the celery and the cucumbers here.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like a kale and then a cucumber so I can wash the kale juice in with the cucumber juice.
Right, so what we need to do on the kale, Jake, before you put those in, you need to chop these up. So
can you put this in there full or what?
So that's gonna start giving you some problems, man. So what you need to do is you need to take a knife and you need to just chop this up into like, I like to do 1/8-inch pieces or at least 1/4-inch pieces, just go all the way down.
Even with the celery.
Do the same thing with the kale. Yeah, the celery strings will clog up the juicer.
Oh.
Now if you're only juicing like 8 ounces or 16 ounces, it's probably not that important. But you know, if you're juicing like I do every day, or Jake is hopefully gonna be doing, you're gonna be juicing a lot. You need to be cutting up into little small pieces, you know, about like this size. And you know, it's no problem. Once you got it cut in, you're just gonna put in some apples and then just dump in the celery, and it's once again gonna auto feed in there for you.
Okay, so
same thing with the kale. I mean, if you don't want to cut the kale, you can just take off little bits. I was doing this earlier, but not the stem at the bottom, because the stem's actually really hard and that'll jam the juicer up.
So not the stem?
Not the stem. If you put the stem in, you could put the stem in, but you got to cut it up like the celery here. And the other thing I'm doing is that we are rotating the produce that we're putting in. Very important.
Why is that important?
I started with that. So Jake, we got to chop this up into little pieces. So we got to rotate the items you're putting in, because each different produce item helps to push certain things through the juicer. So the apples are kind of soft and mushy. They tend to kind of mush up, and they might clog the juicer up because they're so soft.
So now I got the kale going through, so now I'll do cucumber to wash it down.
No, I would do kale, and then I would do a carrot. So okay. Chop off the ends off that carrot, Jake.
You do this. You're the master of the kale there.
All right, man. I'll do the kale. We're just chunking off little pieces, and then we'll chop up the stem. Oh, let's put some more purple cabbage, man. Of all these foods on here, the purple cabbage is probably the most nutritious and also the most cheapest that you guys are gonna buy, you know, especially if you're buying it organic. It's probably the best value for juicing. You get the most nutrition out, of course. Next after that is the standard carrots. And then if you guys could find them in your area, you wanna buy the purple carrots. These are highly nutritious carrots, at least 5 times more nutritious than the orange ones. And I like to juice those regularly. Oh man, we gotta put a lemon in there. So the lemon, we need to cut this up next, Jake. But the lemon, rich in bioflavonoids, also vitamin C, and this is really important if you make a bunch of juice and you can't drink it all right then and there. You want to make sure you put some lemon in there. And then I like to store my juices under vacuum in the fridge. They'll easily last a couple days, no problem. But make sure you get the lemon in there. It'll help it from oxidizing as quickly.
The lemon with the rind and all.
Rind and all. So yeah, lemons you could do rind and all. Limes you could do rind and all. But when you juice something like the grapefruits, oranges, or tangerines, you do want to remove the coloring, because the coloring will give you bad gas and flatulence and bloating. So yeah, now that we got this cut up, we just literally drop a couple pieces in. Oh man, we didn't even get the ginger yet. Oh my God. So we got to chop this ginger up to juice it, but the ginger is probably the number one of the most anti-inflammatory foods in the entire world. It'll add a nice little spice to your drink. And especially if you're an athlete like Jake is, you know, for healing, anti-inflammatory, ginger's just amazing. Also, if you have like motion sickness, ginger's amazing for that too.
Yeah,
so once you chop up that into pieces about the size of the celery there.
So I could just use this juicer to juice a whole bunch of ginger as a ginger shot.
Yeah, but you'd want to cut up the ginger.
To dice it up.
Dice it up first, because if you put in a whole piece of ginger, it's probably going to clog up the machine.
Because it's pretty fibrous.
Exactly. But see, it has a different kind of fiber. See, in the ginger, there's like strings of fiber that connect it, and that's why we're putting in little pieces.
The ginger.
And after that, why don't we put a beet in? But see, on a beet, there's not these strings. It's just a beet. So we can just drop the whole beet in.
So you're basically cleaning the juicer as we go with the juice of the other vegetables.
Exactly. So the carrots are really good to clean the juicer as you go. Like alternate with carrots, like kale carrots, apple carrots, or you know, do some celery. You know, the celery and the carrots help to kind of clean and push things out through the juicer. And if you start, you know, getting a backup situation, then what'll happen is it'll make the machine very hard to take apart. It'll also put excessive pulp in your juice. It'll also lower your yield significantly. I do have a video online called Juice Like a Pro in Any Vertical Slow Juicer, where I go over all my tips so you guys can get the best out of any vertical slow juicer you buy, including my favorite, the BSJ 843.
Maybe I'll try to get this video out today or tomorrow, so because this video will come out quick on my Vegan Athlete channel and my other channel, tell them what we're doing this Saturday together here in the Phoenix area.
Oh, right on, man. Yeah, Jake and I actually, for the first time ever, are gonna have a workshop together here in Phoenix. So it's gonna be an amazing workshop. I mean, together we have just thousands of hours of knowledge, and we will save you guys lots of money, you know, if you garden, because we've gone through the tolls and tribulations of planting and being successful of growing in the desert.
And it's amazing to learn from you and from people like me, whatever, on YouTube, but it's something special learning from somebody in person.
Oh, absolutely. And then you get to get all your questions answered. We're gonna have a nice period of time with Q&A. And of course, I brought a lot of Ashitaba seeds, actually 100 packs. So
what is Ashitaba?
So Ashitaba is one of my favorite leafy greens. It's actually from Honshu Island in Japan. And it's actually a relative of the Angelica family. And actually, I like to juice that also. I like to juice the stalks. I just dice those up like the celery. Let's go ahead and put an apple through there. Oh man, we're almost full, man. Let's keep going with the apple so we sweeten it up a little bit because we got some pretty hardcore stuff in there.
I know, it's gonna be a hardcore juice.
But yeah, the Ashitaba, it's an anti-cancer food from Japan, basically. When you cut it, it bleeds this yellow sap, which is known as chalcones. So it's really rare, and it'll grow fine in the desert. It doesn't mind the heat too much.
And you and I have eaten your Ashitaba plants, and I've drinking the chalcones from John Kohler's garden. That sounds weird, but and it's really interesting, almost like a wild leafy green, right?
Yeah, it's wild. So I want to encourage you guys to eat more wild foods in your diet, not just all these domesticated foods that you could buy in the supermarket, but foods that you could grow in your own garden that have even more nutrition than just some of the ones that are being grown common in agriculture today. So Jay, when is that talk and what's that going on?
So in Phoenix, there's a place called The Farm at South Mountain, which is kind of by 32nd Street in Southern. The Farm at South Mountain in Phoenix, and we're gonna be there from 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. this Saturday, January 6th. Costs us $30, so it's like $15 for John, 15 for me, so very affordable. And we've already got about 100 people coming.
Wow, amazing.
So you can definitely come and just show up at the door and sign up right then and there. So we're gonna leave it open to as many who wanna come.
Cool.
There you go.
All right, I think we're about done juicing, man. Let's turn this off. All right, one more apple. And I do like this machine because it actually has this little spout cap. So when you're done juicing, you could close it so you're not gonna get drips on your countertop. Also, the manufacturer says you could actually do mixing inside the machine if you close this. I do not recommend that because that will lower your yields actually. But look at this nice, rich, colorful juice, man. We got it's almost like a deep red burgundy color. We're gonna flood our body with some antioxidants right here, right now. Awesome. All right. Let's see here. See if I could pour it without spilling here. Whoop.
Oh, that's pretty skillful, man.
I have a lot of practice, man.
How many of these juicer videos have you done over the years?
So I've done over 500 videos on my juicing channel and probably, a handful of all my other channels as well.
Okay, and I'm gonna share one of these with the lovely Nicole, who is filming this episode for us. Please check out Nicole's and my new YouTube channel called The Adventures with Jake and Nicole.
Cool.
All right, so what are we cheersing to?
Our health, man.
Longevity and health.
Longevity and health.
May we live a long time and be active the whole time.
Well, that's actually pretty good for just haphazardly throwing stuff in the juicer, huh?
I agree. Perfect amount of ginger and lemon.
Exactly,
I think,
man.
the perfect amount, yeah. And it's not vegetable-y, it's very sweet because of the apple.
It reminds me of it's like a sweet version of a V8 almost.
Yeah. I would definitely try to maybe put a little bit of a spicy pepper in there. Just
to make it one
kick.
cayenne or something.
Yeah,
really just close it down. Yeah, make it perfect.
When I first began juicing, I was like a young teenager, and I always was amazed at how I could do a juice, and I just can feel like my body inflating with oxygen. And I would go to the gym and just kill it. It was so much more, it was the best fuel I ever could have for lifting, for doing sports, wrestling, golf, baseball, all the sports I played growing up.
I mean, this is like living foods right here. I mean, it's the living water is structured H2O. It's oxygen you're getting literally into your bloodstream. It goes into your digestive tract, and literally the little villi in your intestines literally suck out the nutrients. Your villi in the intestines can only extract nutrients from things in a liquid state. So, if you are eating any of these produce items, which are great, you need to chew them into a mush. And that's why actually we feed babies baby food, because they don't have teeth to chew things in a mush. But if you're lazy like most Americans, right? That's why juicing is the best thing you guys could possibly do to maximize the nutrients and get more of these vegetables in you that are anti-cancer, they promote healing, they are also anti-aging.
I feel like this is a digestive system.
It is. I mean, literally, it's just, I mentioned a little bit earlier, Jake, is that we are nothing more or less than juice extractors. I mean, we eat some foods, out the front of us comes the liquids, and out the back of us comes the solids. And now this one, we got all the liquids here, and we got all the solids here. It's literally doing part of that digestion for us. Now, the most important thing when you're drinking a juice, don't just make the juice. John, I made this juice, it's super nasty because I put too much ginger in there or something, and plug your nose, and I'm gonna drink it as fast as I can. Well, at least drinking it as fast as you can is better than pouring it down the sink because you hate it. But you want to take it.
And you want to savor it.
Mm-hmm. Like a fine wine, you want to swish it around your mouth and let your mouth totally coat with the juice and let your salivary amylase, you know, get into the juice. You know, actually I'm salivating right now because the juice is so good, and it's mixing my saliva with the juice that's going to help start the whole breakdown process. Plus, of course, this is fresh juice. It contains all the enzymes that's going to help you digest it, you know.
This is fantastic, and I'm going to put this juicer video, a different version on my main martial art channel, but a full version on my vegan athlete channel. So no matter where you're watching it, I think this kind of information is very important. So for the folks out there on my martial art channel, why would it be important for somebody who is an athlete or a sports person, or like for a martial artist who's fighting a lot, taking a lot of abuse, sweating a lot, conditioning a lot? Why would this be important to do every day, or maybe right after the workout?
Or even, yeah, even before the work, or before a competition especially. So before a competition.
So before a big fight.
Man, I mean, dude, Olympic athletes do this. If Olympic athletes are doing the beet juice, everybody needs, any athlete needs to do the beet juice, because it'll give you that competitive edge. What if you're just a split second faster, hit that guy before he can even come in and shoot, and it's because of the beet juice.
I didn't even see that punch come in. That was like so fast.
But yeah, so I mean, not only before the fight, you know, literally you could increase the oxygen capacity of your blood cells. So then, you know, when you got oxygen, you're more reactive. Also, I mean, after the workout, for healing purposes, right? These are the foods that heal you. It's not like white sugar and hamburgers. They're not going to heal you, man. They're going to make you more messed up.
Because a lot of martial artists, what's going on is we get inflammation. And then we get our muscles get worked, but we get hit in the bones a lot. So we always have bone bruises, muscle jarring, and inflammation.
Yeah, so I mean, for the bones, right? I mean,
does it make my bones stronger?
Absolutely. So the leafy greens, right? These are the best foods with calcium in it, right? The highest sources of calcium, that's the best absorbed. It's not the milk, right? That actually will probably lead you to osteoporosis, as been shown in some studies.
Milk is not doing the bones good.
Right. But the leafy greens are, and I want you guys to rotate the leafy greens you're putting in, because all the leafy greens high in the calcium. I think bok choy is one of the highest, actually, that comes to mind. But I mean, just the celery even has the electrolytes. I mean, people want to grab a Gatorade after they work out or whatever for the electrolytes. Well, hey, celery is even a better source of electrolytes than the Gatorade, because Gatorade is made in like a factory lab. It has all those dyes and colors and all the sugar, the processed sugars. This is nature's healing food. And then let's not forget, like, the purple cabbage, right? This is probably the #1 antioxidant, anti-aging, and anti-inflammatory food because of these purple pigments, and it's super cheap. And even if you just do the carrots are super cheap depending on where you live in the country. You get a 25-pound bag of carrots for like $6. That makes a lot of juice. And even if you were poor and you could only juice carrots. So anti-inflammatory, you're gonna heal and recover faster, flooding your body with not only the rich oxygen in the juice, not only the living water, but also the antioxidant power in there.
John, I want to thank you so much for this juicer and for all your knowledge today.
Oh, no worries, man.
All of John Kohler's information and all the juicer information, including a code to order one of these yourself, is down below in the comments and video description. I'm going to throw John Kohler's YouTube information at the end of this video. You can click on it. But what is this called again? This is the Omega VSJ843 juicer. Use coupon code Jake Mace, no spaces, for $30 off. This is my favorite juicer because it juices a wide variety of things. If you just like, John, I want to juice everything. I want to juice kale and everything we saw today. I mean, this juicer will handle everything. And that's why I like it also. It's easy to clean and does an amazing job. And I want to leave you guys with one last tip, because I know we got to go, is you know, you want to start out juicing, if you've never juiced before, is start using a lot of fruit. So like if you just juice a pineapple, and I have a video on showing how to juice pineapple in here so it doesn't jam up, and just use pineapple and, you know, a bunch of kale. A pineapple kale juice is amazing because now you're getting, you know, nature's anti-inflammatory food. The pineapple can get the bromelain, the enzymes, but also the calcium and all the nutrients from the kale. Plus, because it's in the pineapple juice base, it's gonna taste good. And that's the most important thing, is to make recipes that taste good, because I know you guys are gonna make recipes that taste bad and you're gonna have to plug your nose, right? And I don't want that to happen to you guys. So make recipes that taste good so you wanna come back the next time. Exactly. Great information. I'm gonna fist bump you. All right, man. Check out all John Kohler's stuff, and your Instagram's great as well, all down below, and grow the food yourself if you can. Absolutely. And we'll see you guys next time.